coming from you, not from outside. You always have to remember that everything that's happened comes from inside, never
inside.
from outside.
Very good. Very, very good.
But there are things going on in your solar system with the sun, with all the planets. It's highering the vibration, but it's simultaneously with your frequency higher, and it's not depending on anything from the outside.
Understood. But in our, I would say, in our incarnation, in our expression of ourselves in these physical bodies, it seems like as if there is an outside of ourself. It's just the way that it's projected here. And so we always speak from that reference. And I, of course, speak from that reference, um, just to make sure that the listeners understand. And I don't like to talk above people or over them. And I try to speak in a way that from the person who knows the least amount of information, who aren't so aware of these topics that we're speaking about, so they can understand. So if they listen for the first time, they don't go, what are they talking about? That makes no sense. Does that make sense then?
Yes, but in the same way, the person with the least knowledge is the more blessed one, because that person has the shortest route to get to this frequency and to get the right insight of what's going on. If you
Oh,
listen to so many things coming from outside, your, your brain is starting to compute, because your brain is just in a computer. It's interpret for you, and then you are tossed between yes or no, and that chattering going on, and it's setting stop for your development in so many ways. So please listen from your inside out, not from your outside in.
excellent. Excellent. This is an excellent session that we're having here. I'm very happy uh, that we're communicating with you today. Um, is there anything else that you would like to share with any of the listeners who are listening to this? There will be quite a few. They've been sort of waiting since, Lars and I have taken a break for almost 30 days. So I give you the floor.
We want to bring a lesson to you. We want to bring you a task for doing these coming weeks that will help you immense. That it's you go out there in the surrounding, when you go into the shop, meeting the cashier, and just tell them they are a beautiful being. Tell your neighbor that you are so beautiful, but don't tell them in condescending way, but just tell them and let it come from your heart. It will make them feel so much better, and it will spread like a wildfire if you do this with a good intention. Please try this, please.
Spread love, share love, unconditional love from our heart.
Yes, and it's so easy. Just smile and tell them verbally that you're appreciating that they are there.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Well, I have, of course, I have endless questions, but
We have a lady here that's amused by your question, and she's always talking to you, but she also loves you so much.
and who would that be?
You are so much aware of who it is.
It's Isabel.
Of course, She is the one that connecting us now. She is the one that helping Lars interpret what we give to him also.
Ah, I love her so much. Thank you.
You are so much welcome. And we, as you said, know that you wanted to ask questions. That's why we came forward this day.
Thank you. And I believe Isabel was able to settle my mind with the conflict that I was having in my mind with Lars then.
Yes, because you know there was not a real conflict.
Exactly.
But
Excellent.
she's you and she is always with you. And so am I.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Lars appreciates that. And all the listeners who have been drawn to these sessions appreciate it as well. And I'd like to thank you for them. And I had one a question. You always say one, but I'll just say it. The It's about politics. It's about Donald Trump, the gentleman who's running for the president of the United States of America. Um, could you relay any information about this gentleman whatsoever? Because he's been pretty much saying some things that have not been settling good with our elite. And then he's saying other things on the other hand, which are so disrespectful that it's unreal, speaking about particular races of people and speaking about building a wall. And there's a lot of, it's so contradictory, his message. In one way, he's talking about things that we know, like 9/11 being of inside job. And then at the same time, he's, what could you, anything that you could share with the listeners about this particular entity?
This man is a man that worked out of his enormous ego, and he telling what he think you want to hear, but you have to analyze what his purpose is for real. He's driving this like he would like to buy your acceptance of him, but he's just talking out of his ego. He have no attention to make anything better than it just in his best interest.
Understood.
He don't care what you feel.
Understood. And what about Hillary Clinton? She's another candidate who's running for the president of the United States of America. And there's so many, uh, there's all types of anything that you could relinquish about this particular entity as well, without having to go in, without me having to go into the details of everything.
We can say that this woman's ego is not far behind Donald Trump's ego, but she thinks she's doing this out of her heart, but she's not, because she is still too influenced by other powers. But we will not interfere with your political agenda. That's up for you on this planet to solve. And we see a difference in engagement and in thoughts and in ideas going on that also resonate out of this change going on the planet.
We were told that the next president of the United States would actually have our country and the people's interest at best hand. Could you at least speak to that at all?
So then it cannot be anyone that talking out their own interest and from their own ego.
But do we have anyone like that even running?
Sure, and you know it.
Oh, very good. I have a feeling.
We see that you see the picture now.
Okay, very good. And my last political question, without going too far overboard, or I already know you're only going to tell me what you're able to relinquish. So I'm pretty much aware. So I'm not. It's okay if you don't answer. So, uh, Barack Obama, the president of the United States right now. He's of course, our first man of color, president in the United States of America. We were told before he was elected that he would was for the people and he would bring about disclosure and a lot of things. I just would like anyone to know on the planet, uh, if his intentions were pure in the beginning, and has he been manipulated or controlled uh, by, say, what we call the elites or our shadow government. Were his intentions ever pure?
Yes, and it still is, but he has a lot of bad influence from misleading person that try to support him. And
And if
it's not easy in that position to stand up against everything that is thrown at him. But he still had a good intention, and he has still not started any war.
Oh, very good. I always believed in him, and not just because he was a man of color. Um, and
He is what you say sometimes, a man out of the people.
and yes, with integrity. And
Yes.
I've never seen someone with so much discipline. And I say discipline because they've disrespected him in so many ways. But I don't believe that he is behind all of the things that he's doing. I believe he's being forced in a way to make a lot of the decisions that he's making. And I don't know. I just
He
want
had
to.
had many bad advices from different realms, different interest parts, and it's not easy to sort out what you are going to stand behind when you're bombarded with so many issues you have to solve every single day. Every single day, there's thousands of issues going on.
Well, I have one last question in his terms. Has he been threatened to make the decisions that he's been making? Has he or his family been threatened to
No,
make
he has been misled.
misled?
Yes.
All right, very good.
There are powerful people that are very influencing of how people thinking and acting. They are very unempathic, so they have no feelings for anyone else. They just put their agenda out there, and they are expert of convincing people that that is the right thing to do. And
You know,
there's a lot of that kind of people still.
so do you have a message of hope for us, or not so much hope, but even encouragement that with the rise of the vibration on the planet, that things are literally changing for the better? We just don't recognize it. Yes, are things actually changing for the better? Are we going to see a day where everyone will be happier and everyone will not be under so much control and manipulations by the powers that be? And I hear they're the powers that actually were. Are they
If
losing?
you so wish, you can be there you want to be. You can be in a happy society that thinking of not just me, but thinking about us, because us is me. And you have to recall what I ask you to do. Put
Yes.
the message out of love. Show your appreciation of other beings. It can be animal, it can be anything. As long as you had a positive thought, you will resonate through the whole universe directly and immediately.
Excellent. 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 Very good. Well, it's been a while, and I'm very, very happy to be here again and to have this communication with you. And we are very thankful and very grateful. And like I say, once again, if there's anything else that you'd like to share, we will pass on the message of love to everyone that we possibly can. The information that you gave us earlier was so incredible. I can just possibly imagine how people are going to take this, but I'm going to put it out there. And I feel like it's what I'm meant to do. So
We hope it can resonate with many of you, but we are not forcing anyone to choose. It's from their inner self, from their intuition, and from their heart they have to listen.
understood.
And we can say we have communicated with Lars now during this session also, and he's smiling at me and said, "Why do you keep me so busy?" And we said to him, "Just because you wanted to." And he just smiled at us, and that's so lovely. He knows what he has to do. And so do you, Hank, and you're doing a lovely work, and we would express our love for you and for all mankind. And we know that you are coming with more questions, and you are more than welcome. But you have to realize that you are not already mature to receive every answer right up front. You still need some time to develop.
Oh, very good. You've answered everything so far, so I'm just appreciative for that, and you know,
Maybe we sometimes don't be so concrete in our expression, but there is a reason for that.
understood. Well, the next time we come together, I know I have questions about. You told me not to worry so much about if I'd ever been abducted before because I still have a lot of questions with that. But how is Lars' body doing right now?
He is vibrating very high, but he is okay. He is a little warm, but
Is
it's
he?
okay. No
Oh,
problem. He's,
so,
he's getting used to this now. We're doing work with him all the time.
oh, very good. Very, very good. Well, may I ask those questions about the, you know what I'm going to ask about the abductions with myself.
Yes.
So, he gave me, okay, I did a session with another gentleman, and this connection wasn't as strong as this connection that Lars and I have. And the gentleman said that I had been abducted uh, by the military. And I don't know if that abduction was a physical abduction or if it was, are they do they have the type of technology where they can come in and connect with my higher self or with my energy body or my spirit body and interrogate me? Or he said that it had happened, I guess, twice, maybe even more, and they were trying to get information from me, but they were unable to. Is there any validity in that at all?
Yes, they can connect to your mind, and yes, they can use different methods to alter you. That is the military first and most important task is just to make you think as they want you to think.
Well, that isn't.
They can use drugs, they can use electronics, and I have done that on you. But you're not under that influence anymore.
Well, but isn't that the question that I asked you in the very beginning? Was it possible to do that? And you said they weren't able to.
Not from the outside, but are you in a system that you have to accept to fit into the system? They can use drugs on you. You
So,
cannot say, you can say no, but you will not out of fear.
so that was able to happen. That was while I was actually in the military. They actually did that to me then?
That's the only time they are able to come that close to you, yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, I just, you have to make sure we're not contradicting ourselves. So that's understood. And so, but the other times that I had these experiences, um, I wasn't in the military, and he's in the session. They said those were with uh, I'm calling them the good guys, or those are extraterrestrials or dimensionals that I was associated with.
Yes, you work in different area with many issues, with many collectives, many different communities, and they connecting with you over and over again. But mostly you are not adopted from, you are just rising in vibration and you can perceive it as you are floating up or you have your body with you, but that's not the case.
So this is all with my energetic body that I'm communicating or connecting with the different communities, so to speak,
Yes.
uh, and that's happening like daily or nightly, so to speak.
They connect to you daily, yes, but you are not always directly involved in the work, but you have the connection all the time.
Oh, very good.
And you know when they come, you know it.
I guess it's all very positive then.
Yes, it is. But the military's agenda have never been positive, and they
How
have for all time in mankind tried to manipulate persons because they think that's the way to win a war, to make them to do what you want them to do.
Well, how did they know that I had information from the extraterrestrials? How are they able to know that?
They didn't know that from the start.
Oh, so they okay.
That's been revealed later by the help of drugs that you're not even aware of.
So was that when I had the surgery
Yes,
while I was in the military?
yes.
Oh my. But they haven't had any interactions with me. That was 30 years ago. 30, yeah, 30 years ago. And they have not had any interactions with me since then, have they?
Now,
Are they still aware that I have connections with extraterrestrials or extra dimensionals?
not directly now.
Oh, very good. And are they focused on, are they familiar with Lars and myself and the work that we're doing? And when I say they, I mean the elites, the military. Are they monitoring us in any way?
They don't have the means to monitor everyone at doing this work, so it's a futile task they're trying to do in that case.
So, but if they knew that I was connected back then, are they paying attention now?
No,
All right, thank you. Okay, very good. I don't have anything else to ask with that. I know the last thing that the gentleman told me in the session was, Hank, do not worry about those abductions. You're fine, and it's nothing that I should focus on.
yes, you are fine. And you're doing a great job as usual.
I appreciate that tremendously. I feel like there's a load off my shoulders right now from the information that you had given us from with the voice of God technology and the breakaway civilizations. Wow, wow, wow. Is there anything while you're here? I know I can't help it, that you could relay to us about Atlantis or Lemuria? Anything that you could relay to us about Atlantis and Lemuria?
Civilization that are gone a long time ago. Why
Has
they decided to step off.
Has any of the entities that lived in those civilizations, have any of them reincarnated back into physical bodies while the planet is going through this transition right now?
Many of them, but they're not aware of it.
Oh, very good. What has Lars or Hank? Were we uh, a part of any of those two civilizations?
You have been working with them, but not that you were participating in this society, but you have worked with them because you both came and have reincarnated on a water world, as you called it. You have been
Yes.
different entities. You have been whales, you have been dolphins, but not the kind exactly that's on Earth now, because this was a long time ago. But you did have cooperation with that kind of societies on this planet before.
Understood. And here's another thing that just popped into my mind. In that session that I did with the other gentleman, he also said that there were three physical universes. One, he said, was this particular universe that we are physically manifest in. And then, how did he put it? He said there was uh, a not a psychological. Oh my gosh, I'm losing adjectives here. He mentioned three universes. I guess if you could elaborate on that just a little, it'll come to me in a moment. I just have to shut up and think about it for a moment. But are you familiar with the session I did with that gentleman?
We're not so directly, but we are aware of what you're talking about. But there are many, many more universes. For every frequency above fifth dimension, it's an own universe, but all are connected and all energy is resonating through all of the universes. But you
Uh,
will someday be aware of this and see it clearly. It's
in this
very hard for you to perceive this now because your mind is limited in that way.
Understood. In this lifetime, you perceive us being able to have this remembrance.
If you decided to live for a long time, yes.
Wow. Could you tell this? What about, well, Lars and I was that. I think it was our intention. These were our intentions to live a long time to experience this.
We are sure of that because you have so much work to do. So you will
Philosoph-
be aware of many, many changes going on.
Philosophical. He said there was a philosophical universe
Yeah,
of the planet Earth.
All universes is philosophical.
Okay,
It's created by you.
understood.
It's created by us.
Well, I guess the one last question, and I promise this is the very last one that I could ask, and is that everyone, they're always asking about time, but in these next 2 years, 2016, 2017, what do you see? Oh, okay, here we go. I'm sorry. I won't ask that